Hey guys, HDvee here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we've got some pretty exciting news to go over. We have some updates regarding Pokemon Legends EA. We also have some new Nintendo Switch 2 information, and as well as that, we have a new rumored Nintendo Switch 2 Pokemon game as well. There's a lot of things to take a look at today, so if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. It's trying to hit 500 likes, it really helps out. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're brand new, and let's get into the video. So, starting things off, we've just got some miscellaneous Pokemon news to go over. The first one being the new anime arc that has been announced for Pokemon Horizons. It's all about Mega Evolution, very likely to intertwine with Pokemon Legends EA. But we've got HDvee here tweeting out saying, HDvee update, the Pokemon Company has confirmed that the first episode of the new saga of the Pokemon anime, titled Mega Voltage, will air on the 11th of April 2025. We don't know when the English dub is going to be coming out, but of course you can just watch this subbed regardless. But there is a seemingly time skip for the anime, which they haven't really done before. It was kind of leaked in the Terra Leak, but now that we can obviously have the image, we can see that there has been a time skip as well. People are older, Pokemon have evolved, there's Mega Evolutions as well, Shiny Mega Lucario, there's a Mega Sableye, there's new characters, Terrapago's chilling in the Pokeball. So yeah, because Legends EA is set in the future, it would not surprise me if they do go to Kalos and we do have like a Legends EA arc, and we might even have like a movie about it as well regarding Zygarde and stuff like that. But yeah, really excited to see how they kind of go forward with this anime. And also, does this mean that Ash is going to age as well? Because if it is set in the same universe as Ash, and there's been a time skip, well, obviously Ash is going to age as well. So it's going to be interesting if he appears in the anime, and he appears a little bit older as well. A lot of questions that need to be answered, but that's the Pokemon anime stuff. Next up, if you're into competitive Pokemon, the new Global Challenge 2025 Part 3 has been announced. It says, HDvee update, the next Pokemon Scarlet and Violet online competition has been announced. The Global Challenge 2025 Part 3, and it runs Regulation G rules. You usually get items as well for competing in this, but nothing crazy that you can't get in the item sort of dispenser thing in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, such as bottle caps and everything like that. But yeah, if you're into competitive Pokemon, this is obviously something straight up your street. And then also finishing things off in the miscellaneous Pokemon news, we do have an update regarding the Alolan Raichu coming to Pokemon Unite. We've got HDvee here tweeting out saying, HDvee update, Pokemon Unite has confirmed that Alolan Raichu will be available as a playable character on April the 17th. So again, we don't really know how it's going to work, if it's just going to evolve through Pikachu, or it's going to be a separate Pikachu to the normal Pikachu that we've had, or it's just going to be a standalone Alolan form. Who knows? But either way, April the 17th is when Alolan Raichu is going to be playable in Pokemon Unite. Next up, we do have some updates regarding Pokemon Legends EA, which, in my opinion, are very, very good, or very, very cool, and it definitely makes me more excited for the game. We've got Centro Leaks here tweeting out saying, Pokemon Legends EA has been rated E10 plus by the ESRB. This is the first time ever a mainline Pokemon game is rated above E. And then, is this considered a mainline game? Correct, officially mainline. And then also E10. Also, aren't most Pokemon games usually E? Literally all of them. So what this basically means is that Legends EA is going to have some sort of darker themes, which is why it's got that rating. So maybe, even though it looks all happy and dandy, and, you know, we're going to this really cool Lumiose City, and we're exploring and we're sightseeing, something bad is going to happen that makes the game a little bit more darker than previous games. And obviously, we've already had pretty big things happen in Generation 9, obviously with the professors like passing away and stuff like that. So quite dark themes in regards to a Pokemon game. And even Scarlet and Violet was rated E for everyone, but now I've got E10 plus for Pokemon Legends EA. So I definitely expect Pokemon to be kind of maybe attacking us or something like that. There's got to be some sort of darker themes. I mean, even Legends Arceus was rated E for everyone, and that had literal Pokemon attacking you. So it's going to be darker than that. Like, something happens in this game to make the game have to have this age rating. I mean, it's nothing crazy. It's not going to be like blood or anything like that, because it still is just E10. But I don't know. It's very interesting. First time we've ever had this for a Pokemon game. What themes is Pokemon Legends ZA gonna have that kind of warranted this rating. I definitely think something's going to happen to AZ now, and that's how we get Eternal Floette. A lot of people have been wondering how we maybe obtained Eternal Floette in this game. I think AZ is going to sacrifice himself, and something like that in the story. We get Eternal Floette throughout that, or because of that situation. But yeah, I don't know. Interested to see what kind of dark themes are happening in this game. What do you think is going to happen for this, obviously, to have this sort of age rating in the in Pokemon Legends ZA? Coming up next, we have some Nintendo Switch 2 updates to go over. Pretty good updates as well, which are basically telling us that the console is likely to be coming out sooner than we thought. But this was posted on Universo Nintendo, and we also have Poryleaks talking about this as well, saying Nintendo Switch 2 data points to more than 380,000 completed units of the new console shipped to the North American market in January 2025. Manufacturer Hosiden has reportedly already made available completed units of the system ready for sale. So it says, a recent survey of data released by user LIC on the Famiboards forum revealed information about the start of large shipments of the long-awaited Nintendo Switch 2 to the United States. According to the report, in January, Nintendo's contracted assembly plant in Vietnam, identified as HDvee, the Hosiden Corporation, exported approximately 383,000 units of the complete console. And that was just in January. You know, we're now in March, so you'd like to think that even more units would have been sent by now. Exclusively to the North American region, focusing more specifically on the United States and Canadian markets. The initial number of units shipped is considered significant for an initial shipment, and therefore is still an expectation of an increase in shipments in subsequent months from February onwards, since by January of this year, Hosiden had already received essential components, such as the processor and screens, sufficient for the production of units of the new console that would take it above the million mark. These submissions signal that Nintendo is preparing the groundwork for a possible imminent launch of the Nintendo Switch 2, and that it aims to ensure that as many units of its new system as possible are available at launch to meet the potentially high demand for the device. With no release date yet, the Nintendo Switch 2 will be detailed during its dedicated Nintendo Direct that will be shown on April the 2nd. I mean, we've had them say multiple times that there's going to be enough consoles out there when it's released for everyone to get it, so like scalping's not going to be an issue and everything like that. And the fact that in January they sent out this many just to America as well, just to North America and the Canadian regions, and that was in January. So we've obviously had February, March. They're going to be shipping these off all over the place, you know, close to 1 million units now, and that's again just in America. So very exciting, and it does mean that, you know, it's going to be ready for an imminent launch, because that's why they're trying to get all these consoles out there as quick as possible. And they might be trying to dodge like the tariffs and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, it's still good news. And we also have this update as well from Poryleaks saying Nintendo Switch 2 release maybe sooner than we thought. 383,000 units were shipped to the US back in January. So this is the actual Reddit post saying, so it finally happened. HDvee exported 383,000 units of the completed console set between January the 17th and January the 22nd. So in 5 days, they shipped out that many units. They were all shipped to the US and were all of the US Canada region code. 41,598 units of the charging grip were also shipped to the US, confirming that HGUO620 is the charging grip with a product code of BAESSKA, which matches the Switch 1 charging grips. 383,000 is a decent sized shipment, but I wouldn't be surprised if the numbers increase. HDvee had received 1.2 million units of one per system parts like the SoC and screen as of December, and 1.7 million as of January. And we can expect 100% of those to end up in units shipped to the US. One thing we can learn from the shipments is that the console set is not a bundle. These are the completed units in the retail boxes. A June 2025 release is likely. So yeah, I've been saying for a while that I think it's going to be June anyway. I mean, that's when all the sort of hands-on experiences end and stuff like that. But it now looks more likely than ever that June is going to be when the Nintendo Switch 2 is officially released. We've got Pori here saying June or July release might be realistic. This is only really a short snapshot since all this inventory was moved only in 5 days. Definitely more shipments have arrived since then. Seems like they are rushing getting as many in from overseas before tariffs hit. So yeah, they're just getting a ton of these shipments in now. And again, 383,000 in 5 days. you'd like to think they've probably done over 1 mil just in January, and then you've got February, we're now in March, so they could have well over like 2.5 million units in, you know, North America and Canada alone, which is good news because it means that they have to get everything ready for obviously when the console is released. So happy days. Hopefully we do get something announced about this soon. It's probably going to be in the Nintendo Switch 2 Direct, but yeah, looks like it's coming out sooner rather than later. And then finishing things off with today's video, we do have a new rumor to go over. This was posted on 4chan on the 7th of February, so quite a while ago, a long time before Pokemon Day, and it's titled Switch 2 Pokemon Game Information. Now, none of this was revealed or announced on Pokemon Day 2025, so it's very likely to be untrue, just like all these 4chan rumors are, but we do know there are confirmed leakers scouring 4chan. Someone did upload the starters the day of the present, so people that do have information do go to 4chan. But anyway, take it with a grain of salt as always. It says, I have information about a brand new Pokemon game being made by the Pokemon Works. So Pokemon Works, if you aren't aware, is the subsidiary company made up of Game Freak employees and Ilka employees. Right now it has no name, but its code name is Ares or Ares. Or Arez. It is a Switch 2 exclusive included in the Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pass subscription. So it's not something that you can kind of buy physically. It's a digital only game. So a little bit like Pokemon Champions. Scheduled for release spring 2027. So obviously it wouldn't have probably been announced yet because it's 2 years away. So this is probably going to get announced maybe next year's Pokemon Presents if it were to be real. It then goes on to say, the game's purpose is to make a hub for competitive users and save time for team building. It will be the game where official VGC tournaments take place. Think about this as a complement to mainline titles more than a self-sustainable game. So this is very, very similar to what Pokemon Champions was. So maybe we have Pokemon Champions and then they make like a more improved version of it, and that's going to be this Switch 2 sort of exclusive one. It says the most interesting add-ons are the team building improvements. You can fully customize every single Pokemon's battle information, so stats, moves, etc., as long as you own it in a mainline game or Pokemon Home. So it obviously have to go into your sort of settings, see that you have this Pokemon, and then you can obviously create it in this Pokemon game. Pokemon with multiple permanent forms like Urshifu or Florges are locked into their current form, and they also cannot be changed. You will need to own every form you want to use. This also applies to shinies. So yeah, if you have like a Charmander, you can't just then put in a shiny Charmander. You have to have a shiny Charmander registered in Pokemon Home, which I think that would be a really cool way for them to do it in competitive, because you can easily go out and catch a certain Pokemon. Doesn't take long at all, but then to make it competitively viable is a little bit more expensive in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, etc. Whereas if you had this game, you'd just go and catch like, I don't know, a Carnivine, and then it'd be in your settings, and then you can just create a fully perfect IV Carnivine ready in this game. And then it says, mainline games compatible with Arez will include every Switch and Switch 2 game except for Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee, which is a little bit interesting. The game will have social features, access to your Switch 2's friend list to battle your friends, make friend groups, used also to manage esports teams, and even hang out in the main plaza. The game will have paid cosmetic items for your player so you can show off to others. Again, that if this game does have any sort of, I guess, in-game purchases and stuff, as long as it's just cosmetic and it's not pay to win, then that's great. Every gimmick will be available, including things like rotation or inverse battles. Again, they got a lot of stuff right for Pokemon Champions here, because every gimmick is very likely to be in Pokemon Champions. We know that Mega Evolution and Terrestrialization is in, very likely to have Dynamax and Z moves as well, and then whatever Generation 10 has. So this very well could be like the next step after Pokemon Champions. Again, very unlikely to be true, but it's just interesting they got all of this stuff kind of like relatively correct, apart from obviously the exclusive Switch 2 thing. And then it says, but not all at the same time. The game will have multiple competitive formats that will cycle time to time to spice up things. And then it says, expect animations to be the same ones you see in Gaia. So Gaia is the code name for Generation 10, with some new ones being made for the Pokemon and battle formats not present in that game. Animations are being made by Creatures Inc. and are not implemented yet. And then it says they plan on doing something with Victini in this game, or for this game, both lore and distribution-wise. Lore is just meant for ambience. The game takes place on a Cyprus-based island named Olympia. This is the Japanese name, could be different for other languages. So, I mean, all in all, it sounds like a great version of Pokemon Champions, you know? I would love a Pokemon game where you just have to have information about the game registered, and then you can just create a perfect one just like that. Again, it's very similar to what Pokemon Champions is, and again, this was posted, you know, 20 days before Pokemon Champions was announced. So quite interesting. They got a lot of this stuff right. They got a lot of stuff wrong as well. But again, it could be something that, you know, maybe they saw Pokemon Champions and they thought it was a Switch 2 game or something. You never know. So I don't know. We'll definitely keep an eye on this one. Probably fake, but we'll have to wait and see. It's not apparently coming out till spring 2027, which we haven't got a release date for Champions yet. So Champions could be coming out in spring 2027. Very unlikely, but you never know. But let me know your thoughts on this post here, though. Do you think it is real or not? And then also everything else that we covered in today's video regarding the Nintendo Switch 2. The Pokemon Legends EA E10 plus rating, and then also all the miscellaneous Pokemon news as well. But thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, drop a like. Let's try and hit 500. Leave a comment. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell for daily Pokemon content. Have a great rest of your day, and until next time, peace.